A couple months ago, I went to a restaurant here where I live. And by the way, I live in a smaller city, so there's not a ton of options. So some of you in bigger cities that you're going to laugh at some of the things that I say, but there's not a ton of options. So we went to one of the nicer restaurants here in town. I'm talking about a restaurant that actually has things on the menu that you've never heard of. 99% of the restaurants here I've probably already tasted, but this is my first time there. Waiter comes over and I'm like, man, I don't even know where to start. I'm like, what's a good appetizer and like what should I order as far as an entree? And man, I wish I would have had my phone out. He dug in. He's like, okay, first of all, he's like, I know this kind of sounds weird, but there's this dish on the menu, and I can't remember what it's called. He's like, it's actually carrots. But before you like throw it out, and this isn't the owner, by the way. This is what was impressive. He's like, before you just throw it out because it's carrots, he's like, it is this. I mean, these are the most amazing carrots you ever had. They're baked to perfection, and there's this glaze, and like this is most people's favorite thing. And he goes into exquisite detail to the seasonings, and I mean, I could taste the carrots. And then I asked him about the hamburger. And I mean, he's talking about the way they press the meat and the way, like the things that it was just the presentation of the way he explained the menu items. I even told him, I'm like, dude, you got me so pumped about this food. Like, how quick can we get this out here? It was a masterpiece. And he did this for me. My wife ordered a drink, and he was talking about how they squeezed the lemon and the. I mean, it was wild. It was the most. It was the most fascinating experience I've had with a waiter ever. I mean, it was his excitement level for the thing that he was serving was I have never seen it. It was amazing. And to this day, like I never remember my experience with waiters. I still remember this, and I probably always will. And the reason I'm sharing this is because sales is the transfer of energy. Let me say that again. Sales is the transfer of energy. I've also heard it called the transfer of conviction. Okay, your belief, transfer of belief, transfer of conviction. But sales is also the transfer of energy. It's the same thing. And you guys have probably, if you look back in your life, you probably remember experiences, times when you talk to somebody and they have been so excited about a product. And maybe it's not even one that they were selling. Maybe it was, but maybe it's just, an Apple phone, right? Maybe it's just their iPhone. Maybe it was their some other gadget. Maybe it was this hotel that they stayed at. Whatever it was, but you could just feel the energy. They were so excited about this thing that you're like, dude, I got to check it out. And so what I found and what's interesting is when you make a sale, it is literally you transferring that conviction, that energy that you have for your product or service to the customer. So if you're pitching and you are sitting back and, whatever, and you're just kind of blank, like you're just monotone and, talking like this, good luck. Okay. Good freaking luck. But when you're up and you're excited and you're talking and you're sharing these things and, hey, Mr. Business Owner, look, this is what's crazy is I have this client, his name's Joe, and we've been working with about 6 months. He's made $60,000 from these leads. And it's got to be true, right? But you're explaining like this and you're excited and you're enthusiastic and you're like, it's insane. Like, and obviously, Mr. Business Owner, I'm not going to try and say that this is going to happen to you, like exactly how it happened to him, but how incredible is it that we can literally turn on the leads today and you could potentially have $60,000 of business come in? That's incredible. Like, notice the difference in how I'm talking. I'm excited. I've got that conviction. I've got that energy. And that energy, I don't know how it works, but it will pass through to the customer. I've had this happen when I've read books. I remember reading the book. It's called Tiger, about Tiger Woods. And I've never grew up golfing. I didn't. I've enjoyed it. I've gone a few times, but I read the book called Tiger, and the author, the way that they described everything in detail, it just got me so pumped about golf, like to the point, next thing you know, I bought a season pass or some membership. And then I was ordering clubs and a new bag. And all of a sudden, every other day I was going golfing. I'm like, where did this come from? And it was that passion that was transferred to me. I've got a friend that he's huge into real estate. And real estate, from if you talk to some people, it's like, it's toilets and fixing this and fixing that and blah, 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 blah. In fact, maybe a lot of people would say that, and it's just houses or whatever. But to this guy, he's like, dude, like I love getting deals and I love getting creative about this. And like, I'm building and you talk to him for 5 minutes about real estate. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get into real estate. I got to get me some houses. Guys, if you want to get deals, you have got to transfer that energy. Now, some of you guys are like, well, I'm not a fast talker and I don't, whatever, that's just not my personality. That's fine. You don't need to be a fast talker, but you need to have energy. You need to have enthusiasm. You need to have conviction about your product. Because if you don't, the customer is going to sense it and they're not going to buy. Sales is the transfer of energy.